Hey guys, I hope everyone has had a great holiday break if you were on break. And if not, Happy New Year. Well, I wanted to get on here because it's been a little while since I came on here and just said hello and just kind of check in and see how everyone is doing. And did you make any New Year's resolution? I didn't really make a New Year's resolution because I don't stick with them. I learned that years ago. But what I did commit to is continuing uh, uh, my health journey. And so, sorry, the lighting, it's not the best in this room. Anyway, so tonight, actually this morning, my husband and I, we went to the gym, and that was a nice workout. It was easy because I didn't want to exert myself because this afternoon around 5:15 we had it's kind of like a boot camp. We called it Gladiator. I'm not sure if anyone has heard of it, but you meet at a school. It's an outdoor setting, and pretty much you're just hitting it really hard. It's running, cardio, it's some weightlifting involved, and so that lasted about an hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, so I am off to a good start for the year. I want to continue to just improve in my health, in my eating, and drop the weight. Something else that I did commit to is just eating more vegetables and more fruit. Lessening the sugar, for sure. I felt so much better. Actually running. I was talking to my husband about that. Just running, I didn't feel tired. I ran the entire time. So, and then we had to go and, we had a choice to jump rope instead of run. So sometimes at one point I did do some jump roping. All right, so I wanted to talk about, this is pretty much like part 2 of what I talked about the other day about finding love and finding happiness again after divorce, after loss. As a disclaimer, I want to say this doesn't work for everyone. My life doesn't fit everyone's household. Okay, so this is what has worked for my husband and I. He came into the relationship before the marriage with 2 children. I came in with 3. Our kids were much older, except his son. His son was 9, I think 9.5 at the time. And so in the beginning, we decided that, first of all, we would never use the word divorce. Not even playing around with it, not even in anger. And so that is something that we take really seriously, that we're not just going to throw that word around just because we're angry at the moment. I mean, yeah. So words have power, is what I believe. Then the second thing is he's going to discipline his kids and I discipline mine. Now, let me tell you, my kids are much older than his kids. Not much older, okay, but older. He has a 21-year-old. So I have a 24-year-old and a 23-year-old and an almost 20-year-old. Actually, she's going to be 20 this month. But when we got together, when we started our relationship, they were teenagers, pretty much already raised. But that's something that we talked about. We talked about finances. That is something important that I think that you should talk about, is who's going to handle, or how you're going to handle the finances. He handles the big bills because he makes more money. Okay. I handle the utility bills, the smaller bills, car insurance and things like that, and cell phone, because I make less than he does. And that works out for us. Something else that also works out for us is, like I said in the beginning, this is not something that is going to work for everyone. Okay. We don't have a joint accounts because he is a stickler for money. He's very what's the word? He's very cautious when it comes to spending. Frugal. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, he really doesn't buy hardly anything. And me, I'm more of a spender. I like to decorate the house. I like to look nice, but I'm not going to splurge either. But I do buy items, I buy things more than he does. And that's okay. Whatever works best for you. Something else that we decided was on our church. He actually came back. He came out of an apostolic or Pentecostal background. I had left the Pentecostal, I guess, arena years ago when I was little. So I've been at a non-denominational church for several years. And my kids was raised in that, where his kids was not. I weren't. But we came together and we tried to find, a happy median on Forest Church. So now we did try the Pentecostal church and that didn't work out. It wasn't as strict, but we wasn't allowed to do certain things. I'm not going to get into that right now, at least. So right now we are at a church that is great. We are able to serve and do what God wants us to do in our calling. Anyway, and so I think that's important, to have something that connects you to faith. Once again, that's not for every household. But I think it's important to have some type of spiritual insight to kind of help guide you through life. And another thing that we try to do, we really try to date. Continue to date, continue to date, continue to treat each other like boyfriend, girlfriend. And that doesn't mean just go out and do what you want to do on your own. We have boundaries, of course. It's a marriage. But we like to have fun. We go to concerts, we go out to eat, we may go to the park, we go to the gym. Sometimes dating inside the house. And dating inside the house may consist of just ordering some food and grabbing some food and just watching television, just hanging out, watching a movie. Or something else that we like to do every once in a while is taking a bubble bath together. Having some candles and setting the mood and just talking, just a healthy dialogue, just discussing our goals and just all kinds of conversation comes out when you're in the tub together. If it leads to other things, oh well. But so that is how we handle our marriage. Now, many people have a hard time trusting people after divorce or after loss or things like that. So before I started dating, I actually took time to be by myself, to learn who I was all over again, to date myself. And I believe he did the same thing. I also did a lot of community service and just, acts of service, to help other people, to get my mind off of whatever I was going through at the time. And that helped tremendously. And so that helped. And so I think it's important to get connected to yourself again and find some girlfriends or your homeboy, whatever, and just have fun. And don't stress so much about the dating world. Especially in 2023, it's hard to find that soulmate. It's hard to find that the people with the same morals that you may have. I'm a little old-fashioned. He is too. it's just certain things that we will not allow in our marriage, and we set boundaries. For example, one thing that I prefer to do, like if he has a friend come over, if he's not home, you're not coming in. You're not really coming in unless you're a really good friend. But for the most part, I'm not entertaining that. I'm not talking to guys on the phone and things like that. And once again, if that's what you do, that's your business, and that works out for you and your household. And I'm not saying I can't talk to a guy that he's going to get angry or anything, but those are the boundaries I set for myself. And far as him, he has a lot of coworkers that he speak to on occasionally, on occasion, that are ladies. But one thing is, a lot of times he has me on speaker, or he's in earshot where I can listen to the conversation and things like that. It's nothing secretive or hidden and things like that. So we try to be open. There's no, I can't have the passcode to his phone. He has the passcode to my phone, and we're not doing that. We're not going there. We're not leaving room for the enemy to come in and destroy my marriage. Okay. So that is something that I believe that is very important. If you have lost a loved one by death or something like that, it's going to take time. Healing takes time. Everybody grieves differently and at their own pace, and that's okay. But I wouldn't be in a rush, because it's also kind of, depending if you have kids and how young they are, how mature they are, it can also be very hard as well. But when you are open to doing it again, and getting out there, dating, or getting your feet wet, finding a friend, I would try to become that friend first before dating, and then introduce your friend or whatever to your children, like that, maybe at dinner. I'm not fond of just inviting different people to your home. That's a big no-no to me. Especially if you have girls, and it's just, I don't believe in that, because you have to be careful these days. You don't know who's a predator or who's sick in the head. And so, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and just kind of explain myself more about dating after marriage. Dating after divorce, dating after loss, and dating after a certain age group. Yeah. So I would like to encourage you to just take your time, meditate on it, pray about it, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to date someone that you wouldn't normally would have dated. And that means maybe sometimes out of your race, out of your culture or something like that. As long as it's no harm or whatnot, or I don't know. Just take a chance. You'll be surprised. You may find that, hey, I like this Korean guy. I don't know. I like this African guy. He's really neat, or she's really neat. The culture's really neat, and I really enjoy being with them just because of them. At the end of the day, it really has to do with the person's character, and the way that they treat you, and the way that they are, the way that they make you feel. So yeah. So I want to come on here and just say hello and Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you soon. That will be all. Bye.